Good morning, boys and girls. This is Mrs. Quella here. I wanted to share a new story with you guys today. And does anybody know what story we're going to read today? You may have heard of this before. It's called Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood. And it's retold by Bonnie Dobkin, and the illustrator that drew the pictures is Subhanu Karmakar. Let's see what happens with Little Red Riding Hood. She looks like a good girl. She's smiling, she's happy. Do you notice there's another boy in the door? Wonder who that is. We don't know. We'll see. Little Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, a little girl lived with her mom and her brother in a small cottage on the edge of the forest. Her favorite piece of clothing was a long red cape with a soft, silky hood. She wore it so often that soon everyone started calling her Little Red Riding Hood. So she got a nickname called Little Red Riding Hood because she always wore her red hood and cape. Do you have a nickname at home? What do people call you? My nickname growing up was Mandy because it's short for Amanda. So that was my nickname. One day, Little Red Riding Hood was bored and looking for something to do. You could sweep the floors, said her mother. No, said Little Red Riding Hood. I don't think that's what I want to do. Her mom was busy painting the fence. You could help clean the yard, said her brother, who was busy chopping wood. No, said Little Red Riding Hood. I know that isn't what I want to do. Then you could visit your grandmother, said her mother. You're old enough to go by yourself, and you haven't seen her for weeks. That's exactly what I want to do, said Little Red Riding Hood. Grandmother lives on the other side of the woods. It's going to be an adventure. Have you ever been on an adventure before? So Little Red Riding Hood and Mother packed a basket full of treats for a girl to take to her grandmother's. Just remember, she said, the woods are very dangerous. Buzzy Bee tells you to be safe, right? So her mom is remembering Buzzy Bee and saying, be safe, my little girl. Don't go into the woods. Go straight to Grandma's house and don't be late. She won't listen, said her brother. Yes, she will, said Little Red Riding Hood. Of course she will, said her mother. Oh dear, something else before you go. Only talk to those you know. She won't listen, said her brother. Yes, I will. Of course she will. And one last thing, sweetheart. From the path, you shouldn't stray, or you could get lost someday. So stay on the path. Don't talk to strangers. Go straight to Grandma's house. 3 rules she has to remember. She won't listen, said her brother. Of course I will. Goodbye, dear. Give Grandmother a big hug for me. Yes, Mom. And off to the forest down the path she went. There was so much to see in the woods. A sleeping owl, a giant mushroom, an amazing spider web. Look at that. When you leave, go straight to Grandma's and don't be late. So she stopped to take a look around at the forest. What? No! She's not listening. Just then a dark shape stepped out of from behind the tree. It was the wolf. "Why, hello, little girl," said the wolf. "Isn't it a lovely day?" With a big smile. Look at all those sharp teeth. Little Red Riding Hood remembered something else. "Before you go, only talk to those you know." Hey, we were talking about rhyming. Anywhere you go, only talk to those you know. Go and know are rhyming words. I bet there's lots more in the book. You just have to listen. Oh, it seems like such a friendly wolf. Mother surely won't want me to be rude. Hello, Mr. Wolf, said Little Red Riding Hood. Isn't it a lovely day? You seem to be such a delicious, by which I mean delightful child. Ooh! The wolf's smile grew bigger and bigger. What might your name be? Everyone calls me Little Red Riding Hood, said the girl. A splendid name, said the wolf. And where might you be headed? If I may call you that, Little Red. You may, Little Red Riding Hood said. I'm bringing my grandmother this basket of treats. She lives on the other side of the forest. How kind of you, the wolf said. In fact, wouldn't your grandmother like a lovely bouquet of flowers as well? Just over that hill and down by the river. You can get some. Little Red Riding Hood remembered what her mother said. From the path you shouldn't stray, or you could get lost some day. Stray someday. Stray day. Another rhyming word. But, thought Little Red Riding Hood, Mother surely won't want me to not bring flowers to grandmother's house. That's a wonderful idea. So I'll pick some right away. She scampered off into the woods. Goodbye, Little Red, the wolf called after her. I'm sure we'll meet again very soon, he whispered. By which I mean for lunch. Oh, what does that mean? Are they going to go to McDonald's together and get lunch? I don't think so. I think he wants to eat Little Red Riding Hood. Oh. The moment Little Red Riding Hood disappeared, the wolf dashed down the path towards grandmother's house, and he tapped lightly on the door. Grandmother, he said in his best little girly voice. Grandmother, it's me. Squeaky. Little Red, really? How wonderful. Is that you? She opened the door. Her grandmother flung open the door. Wait, you're not Little Red Riding Hood. Sadly no, said the wolf. By which I mean goodbye. And he swallowed grandmother up. He gobbled her up. Oh no. Now I'll wait for dessert. Who's dessert? Little Red. Oh no. Sometime later, she came out of the woods. She was dirty and rumpled. There were burrs in her hair. It was much harder to find the path again than she thought. She was surprised to find her grandmother's door of her house wide open. Grandmother, are you home? Yes, dear, came a scratchy voice from the bedroom. But I'm afraid I have a nasty cold. Is it really grandmother? Let's look. Does that look like grandmother? It looks like oh, let's see. Red Riding Hood whispered or followed the voice into the bedroom. The curtains were closed. It was very dark. Grandmother was wearing her nightcap and blankets pulled up past her nose. Little Red moved towards the bed. Ooh, Little Red moved towards the bed. Red in bed. Another rhyming word. We found 3. Grandmother's eyes looked very odd. Why, grandmother, she said, what big eyes you have. The better to see you with, my dear. Come closer and I can give you a hug. Little Red Riding Hood took another step and saw 2 odd triangles under her nightcap. Why, grandmother, what big ears do you have? The better to hear you with, my dear. Can you come a little closer still? Just then, the blanket slipped down grandmother's face, revealing 2 rows of very sharp teeth. But, grandmother, what big teeth you have! The better to eat you with, roared the wolf, leaped out of grandmother's bed and after Little Red. Oh no! Little Red Riding Hood screamed. She ran into the bedroom, through the main room, into the kitchen, slamming doors behind her. She clambered into the cabinet and yanked the door shut. Oh, why didn't I listen to Mother, she thought. If I didn't stop in the woods, I wouldn't have met that wolf. And if I haven't left the path, I wouldn't have been late to Grandma's house. None of this would have happened. How is she feeling, boys and girls? Scared, afraid, worried, upset, sad. In the kitchen, she could hear the wolf calling to her. Where are you, Little Red? He said. There's no need to hide. I'm going to find you and eat you no matter what. What? Just then something crashed. A voice yelled, dishes and smashed. The sounds got louder and louder in the kitchen. And then everything went quiet. Did he leave? Was it safe? Then Little Red Riding Hood peeked out from the cabinet. There stood her brother, his axe in one hand. He was helping grandmother step out of the wolf. Thank you, dear, said grandmother. It was very dark in there. The brother looked at Little Red Riding Hood. I knew you wouldn't listen. Little Red Riding Hood scrambled out of the cabinet and gave her brother a big, big hug. You were right, she said, but I will from now on. Then Red Riding Hood and her brother and grandmother sat down to enjoy the basket of treats together on the table. And that's the end of the story. I challenge you guys to listen to this story again and see if you can read it with another big grown up in your house. And maybe you can even act it out together. If you have a brother, that's okay. If you don't have a brother, you can pretend to be the brother, take turns. Maybe you can be the brother one time, and then you can be Little Red Riding Hood, or be the grandmother, or the mom, or the wolf, and act out the story at home with your family, okay? Have a good day. We'll see you later.